Hi, today we are learning a whistle that is called the palate whistle or the roof whistle. The whistle sounds like this. As you can see, the whistle is actually formed without using the lips at all. The sound is formed inside the mouth using the tongue and the upper palate, which is the area behind your front teeth right here, and the two front teeth themselves. So the way the sound is formed is actually the tongue should be pressed up against the roof of the mouth or the palate, and the tongue should be making this kind of M shape. I actually drew this handy diagram to explain it. So in this diagram you can hopefully tell that the tongue is making a kind of M shape, and in the center of the tongue there is this kind of ridge or hole. The hole and the M shape are then pressed up against the roof, and this creates a passageway for the air, or a kind of pipe, if you will. This is where air will travel, and the sound should be formed between the tip of your tongue and the two front teeth. So to get started, the position of the tongue more clearly is kind of have the tongue all the way touching the palate, so about this much should be touching the palate, then form a ridge. I can try and show you the ridge, although it's pretty difficult because it seems if I move my tongue to the bottom of the mouth, the ridge kind of disappears. So I'll be showing the ridge against the upper teeth instead. So try and see the M shape of the mouth, the tongue. Like right there. This is the ridge you are going for. So you can get started by kind of pressing the tongue lightly against the palate and then blow out lightly. It should be about the strength of a soft Parker whistle, so about this much, I guess. And try and move the tongue back and forth. Try and feel how the sound is kind of formed after the tip of the tongue and the front teeth. Notice how the entire length of the tongue is almost touching the palate. So in the center of the tongue you have the ridge. It should be touching the palate. Then blow out and try to feel the air form a whistle between the tip of the tongue and the front teeth. Now the tip of the tongue should be positioned inside your mouth, so that about maybe half a centimeter from the teeth, back from the teeth, the tip of the tongue should almost be touching the palate. This is the correct position. So this is something you have to experiment with. Also, there's this other palate whistle, I guess. I think it may be called the wolf whistle or something. It's a really loud whistle. I personally can't do it, but it's used sometimes in movies, you know, to call cabs. So if you know this one, it may be confusing because this whistle actually differs from that whistle in that that whistle actually uses the lower part of your mouth, I believe, and this whistle does not. So one thing you can do is take something thin and solid, like a piece of paper, try and form the whistle, and stick this piece of paper in your mouth. It should not stop the flow of air. So try and do it like so. So this may seem really silly, but it is an exercise used to make sure that you are actually forming the whistle only using the upper part of the mouth. If you don't want to use a piece of paper, or if you don't have one at hand, you can kind of use your hand and stick it in your mouth instead. So if you get this, you are on the right track. Well done. I think any whistle is pretty hard, so learning any whistle will take time, so try and be patient. When you get a sound, you kind of have to drill it to learn and memorize where all the pitches are, and then you should, well, one thing you can do is spend your time by experimenting with different lip positions. So you can try different effects using the lips. You can kind of open and close them. And you can also use the lower lip against the upper teeth to create this, I don't know what I would call it. So these are things that you can try. So I wish you good luck and see you in the next tutorial. Goodbye.